So you just got done watching the anime Fuuka. You're wondering,
what happens next?
I don't have the funds to get the manga, I have no means of reading it, and I want to know what happens afterwards. Well, I'm here for you. No pun intended, because you got the song for you. That's not the point. The point is, I'm here for you. I got you covered, okay? I'm gonna let you know in this video what happens after this series. Now, a little disclaimer, there's gonna be spoilers. I mean, that's pretty obvious, but I gotta point that out. So without further ado, let's get it going. So before I tell you what happened in the manga, after the anime finished, I gotta backtrack a little bit. The ending in the anime took an alternate approach to the story, so I'm just gonna tell you what happened in the manga. This moment right here was where everything absolutely changed. There were other differences in the manga and the anime, but this was the pivotal scene that determined where the series was headed. Now in the anime, Fuuka survives this, but in the manga, this is where she dies. So thus, we'll take off from here. So everything that happened after this in the anime, we'll consider it filler. So Fuuka dies and the entire band splits up. Yu goes into a depression and the rest of the band members go back to their previous lives. Now Yu skips Fuuka's funeral. He just hides from the world because he doesn't want to face what happened. But he finally does by going back to school several months later, and he finally comes to terms with what happened. But from there, he resolves that he will live on with her memory in his heart and try to get the band back together. So they're all back together. So actually what he does in the manga is similar to what he did with the anime, even though they were different reasons as to why the band split up. Both times he plays a song for them and convinces them to get back together. And they do. They get back together in the manga too, and they commit to competing in the Denko Rebellion. By the way, Yu is the lead vocalist, and people think he's a genius almost as much as Fuuka was. So they're planning to send the demo into a competition, and Yu meets another Fuuka, Fuuka Aoi. She's also an aspiring musician, and she'll also be at the Denko Rebellion. Now this was the introduction of what a lot of people believe the series is really named after, or who rather. Now they get into the second round of the competition, but it turns out that it was rigged from the start for another band to win. But in this moment, our characters realize that they don't care who wins, because they want their music to reach the audience, not the producers weighing over it. So they withdraw from the competition, but still play their songs. And now we're introduced to another amazing band, the Rabbits, who also dropped out of the competition. So after all that, the group drops out of high school to dedicate everything to the band. They have the main goal playing in the Budokan, a dream of Fuuka's from the start. Insert Sayori Ameya, who signs the Fallen Moon to her agency. She says that she can get the group into Budokan. But first, she has the whole group move in together and she forces them to complete a seemingly impossible task of filling up a concert hall with 1,300 people. They, along with Fuuka Aoi, who is also signed with her, try their best to sell tickets. Fuuka and Yu start working together as janitors also to pay off the house they live in. And you can see a gradual relationship starting to develop between the two. But Yu still hasn't forgotten about the original Fuuka at this point. He still loves and grieves for her. But before they can fill out the concert hall, they actually get their shot at Budokan. The Rabbits, the band from before, invite the Fallen Moon to be their opening act. So before they go, they all visit Fuuka's grave, tell her about it, and say that they're realizing her dream. And then you meet Suzuka, Fuuka's mom and the main character from the 2000s anime, Suzuka. Suzuka gives Yu a song Fuuka had been working on called For You. After that encounter, they go to the Budokan and meet up with the Rabbits. It turns out that the Rabbits' lead vocalist is Koyuki, and yeah, she's still head over heels in love with Yu. And he isn't surprised by this at all. So the time comes for the big performance. The group leaves one empty mic for Fuuka, and as you're reading it, it seems like Fuuka is actually performing with them spiritually, as if Yu is right there looking at her. Fuuka's dad even says that he can see her, which was just a beautiful moment. And what better song to perform than the one Fuuka wrote for her beloved before she died? They sing For You in an amazing performance in which the crowd went wild before Yu passes out. Now when he woke up, he's with Fuuka again, living out their fondest memories, from the time they met all the way up until they were dating. Yu doesn't realize his surroundings or what's going on at all in the dream. He just lives in ignorant bliss throughout it. In this dream, Fuuka tells Yu that the band is now his and he can carry it with his own weight. But more importantly, she tells him to never look back and to keep moving forward. He then wakes up with a new resolution, both towards the band and life. Now comes the development of the new Fuuka. During a trip to the water park, both Fuuka and Yu revealed to each other that they'd never be able to fall in love with anyone in their lives. Yu because of his past love, and Fuuka because of a past accident. But that doesn't stop Fuuka from eventually joining the Fallen Moon after she joins them at a music festival which blows people away. By the way, that music festival was held by the Hedgehogs. So Fuuka joins the Fallen Moon, everything's going smoothly. But then it's revealed that Fuuka Aoi's dad was the driver who hit and killed Fuuka Akitsuki. Fuuka Aoi blames it on herself because she was the one that made her dad go back to work when he was feeling sleepy. He was sleepy, fell asleep at the wheel, and hit Fuuka Akitsuki. Fuuka Aoi realizes that she becomes unstable and won't allow herself to continue playing music, thinking that she doesn't deserve it. It gets so bad to the point of which Fuuka Aoi was about to kill herself, but Yu saves her and tells her that it's not her fault. They also say that she isn't allowed to be a part of the Fallen Moon, but instead, they form a new band with her, called Blue Wells. And that's the start of a new journey for the new band. So then, Fuuka moves in with the band, and to keep the management agency from running under, the band goes on a tour to try to raise funds and everything for it. So a lot happens on this tour. Fuuka and Yu start to develop feelings for each other. Koyuki basically tries to F the shit out of Yu, but our boy here refuses her advances and stayed virgin-kun. The reason? Because he's in love with Fuuka. The man finally admits it to himself that he's fallen in love for another girl, and now he's able to move on from the old Fuuka to the new one. And they basically know each other's feelings. Yu is about to confess to Fuuka when she says that she actually wants to hear his feelings in the form of a song. And insert Fuuka 2.0. The band enters the festival, and this girl Sakura is their guide. She just happens to look and act extremely similar to Fuuka Akitsuki. A bit of confusion you can imagine because you have this new dynamic and this old dynamic clashing. But Fuuka Aoi overhears a conversation between Yu and Sakura where he says he wants to write a song about her. Now Fuuka Aoi thinks that he's falling back in love with the old Fuuka, but in reality, he's writing a song about how he's moved on and found a new love in her. But because of this confusion, Fuuka Aoi leaves the band and goes to a new one. Yu heroically interrupts the new band's performance and gets her to come back to the old band. He explains to her the situation and how she's the only one for him. Then they perform the song, which goes further to show that Yu has moved on. The girl Sakura acted like Fuuka on purpose to try to make Yu fall in love with her. It turns out Sakura's real name is Kawabata, and she was in the same class as Yu in high school. Consequently, she was also in the same class as Fuuka Akitsuki, which explains her actions. Now finally, Fuuka and Yu have the chance to get together. They do it in like a really awkward fashion. It's like, seriously guys, come on. There's a lot of confusion and the two basically convince themselves that the other doesn't like them. So then the band comes and finally forces them to stop being stupid and admit their feelings for each other. I was so frustrated while reading this. And insert passionate kiss. By the way, Fuuka's the man in the relationship. She makes all the moves. Yu is a puss. So the tour ends successfully, the group goes back home, and basically everyone takes a small break. The reason? To develop their own individual skills further. Now the only two in the house are Fuuka and Yu. And Fuuka wants to Fuuk the heck out of Yu, but Yu is still virgin-kun and doesn't get it fully. So they haven't Fuuked yet, but I'm sure it's coming, no pun intended. And that's basically where the manga is at this point. It's a great series. It's getting a little kind of like at this point. I mean, it started off really well, but now I'm starting to get a little bit tired of it. But you gotta realize the manga isn't finished at this point. I'm gonna still read it. If you guys like videos like this, let me know. As always, stay strong, love yourselves. Coming out more content all the time. So please like and subscribe. Por favor. As always, I love y'all. Peace!